Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing amazing today. Something pretty cool just dropped for Xbox users, and I've been spending some time checking it out, testing it, and really seeing what's new and what's changed. I'm talking about the October system update for Xbox consoles in 2025. Uh, yeah, Microsoft quietly rolled this one out recently, and even though at first glance it might look like just another stability patch, there's actually quite a few things tucked inside that are worth talking about. Whether you're rocking an Xbox Series X, Series S, or even an Xbox One, this update brings some subtle yet meaningful changes that make the experience just a little smoother and more personalized. Now, before we get into what's new, let me just mention the version number once, because I know some of you like to double check that your console's up to date. The build for this release is version 10.0.2610.6171. You'll probably see it show up automatically if your console's set to update in standby mode, but if you haven't gotten it yet, you can always go to your settings, head over to System, then Updates, and see if it's ready for download. It's a pretty small update in terms of size, but what it does is definitely noticeable once you start using your Xbox after it installs. So, one of the biggest things Microsoft added this time around has to do with personalization, something they've been focusing on more with each update lately. You know how the Xbox home screen has been evolving a lot this year? They've been trying to make it more adaptive and more tailored to what you actually play instead of just being a big grid of stuff. Now, in this October update, they added a really nice touch that gives you a bit more control over how that home screen looks and feels. There's a new toggle for your play history tile, which basically shows the games you've been playing recently. Some people love it because it makes it super easy to jump back into your last game, but others, especially those who share a console with family or friends, might prefer to keep that private. Now, you can finally choose whether you want that visible or not. Just head into Settings, go under General, then Personalization, then Games and Apps, and you'll see an option called Hide Play History Tile. It's simple, but it's one of those little quality of life improvements that shows Microsoft is listening to feedback. I know plenty of players who've been asking for more control over what shows on their dashboard, and this is a small but solid step in that direction. Another thing that stood out to me is the update to the Xbox rewards system. If you're like me and you've been using Microsoft Rewards for a while, you know it's one of those quiet perks that can actually add up over time. You earn points for buying games, completing Game Pass quests, daily searches, and all that. But before this update, it wasn't always clear how your rewards level worked or how close you were to earning certain bonuses. With this new version, Xbox has made it more transparent. Now, when you open the My Rewards hub, it shows your rewards level right there front and center. And when you're about to make a purchase, say you're buying a new game or DLC, it'll now display how many points you'll earn for that purchase. It's a subtle update, but honestly, it makes a huge difference. It's nice knowing exactly what you're getting instead of having to guess or check the Microsoft Rewards site separately. For those of us who like maximizing every bit of value out of the ecosystem, this is a welcome change. What's cool too is that this seems to tie in with Microsoft's bigger plan of making the Xbox experience feel more connected across devices. Like whether you're browsing on your console, the Xbox app on your phone, or even the Microsoft Store on PC, the rewards stuff feels a lot more unified now. You can see your progress, check your daily sets, and even get notifications when you've earned points. It's almost like they're gamifying the experience of being a loyal Xbox user, and I'm all for that. The next area that got some love in this update is the game hubs. These are those pages that pop up when you highlight or select a specific game from your library or your home screen. Before, they were already showing you things like achievements, news, and activity feed posts. Now, they're adding more useful info directly into the hub. You can see official club content and even in-game benefits that might be tied to Game Pass or other promotions. Let's say you've got a Game Pass Ultimate subscription and you're playing something like Apex Legends or Fortnite. Sometimes there are monthly perks like free skins, packs, or boosts. In the past, you had to go hunt for those in the Game Pass perks section. But now, if a game has active benefits, they'll appear right in that game's hub. It's just easier and faster to claim those without needing to dig through menus. I think this shows that Microsoft is really working on reducing friction, making sure you spend less time navigating and more time actually playing or discovering stuff that benefits you. Now, while these are the visible changes, it wouldn't be an Xbox system update without some of those behind the scenes stability and performance tweaks. The earlier update from October 9th was mainly about that, fixing small bugs, improving system reliability, and smoothing out performance in certain areas. And while those types of updates usually don't sound exciting, they're actually super important because they keep everything running consistently. I did notice after updating that things like app launching and switching between games feel just a bit snappier. Nothing groundbreaking, but definitely smoother overall. Something else worth mentioning is how this update fits into the broader pattern we've been seeing with Microsoft's approach to Xbox software. Over the past year, they've been pushing updates more frequently, almost like how Windows updates roll out. Instead of waiting for one huge seasonal overhaul, we've been getting these smaller, more frequent patches that gradually refine the experience. It's kind of like they're always tuning and testing UEFA, especially since so many of these builds come through the Insider program first. If you're part of that Insider program, you probably saw a few preview builds throughout early and mid October. Those were labeled under the 2510 branch, and the beta and delta rings got them first before they hit everyone else around the 22nd. That's actually one of the things I like most about Xbox's update ecosystem, transparency. You can see what's being tested, what's being fixed, and even what features might be coming next. If you like being on the cutting edge and don't mind a few bugs, the Insider program is definitely worth checking out. And if you're wondering whether you've got the latest version installed, there's a super easy way to confirm it. Just hit the guide button on your controller, go to Profile and System, then Settings, System, and Console Info. You'll see your OS version listed right there. If it shows 10.0.261.0.6171, you're fully up to date with the October 22nd release. If not, you can manually check for updates, and if nothing's showing, sometimes just doing a full power cycle helps. Hold down the Xbox button on the console for about 10 seconds until it shuts off, then power it back on and check again. I also want to talk a bit about the general direction Microsoft seems to be heading with these updates. It's clear that they're putting more emphasis on personalization, clarity, and small touches that improve how you interact with your console daily. Gone are the days when updates were just bug fixes. Now they're about refining the user experience in a way that feels more human and intuitive. The home screen, for instance, has evolved so much. It's no longer just a static dashboard. It adapts based on what you play, what you've pinned, and even what's trending on Game Pass. And speaking of Game Pass, there are hints that we might be seeing even more integrations soon. Microsoft's been experimenting with better ways to recommend games, and these recent updates seem to be laying the groundwork for smarter suggestions that actually align with your taste. The Game Hub changes I mentioned earlier tie into this idea, where Xbox isn't just a launcher for games, but more like a living ecosystem that connects your playing habits, rewards, and community engagement all in one place. It's also worth noting how seamless everything feels between Xbox consoles and the PC ecosystem now. If you've got Game Pass on both, you'll notice that even your rewards and in-game benefits sync between platforms. That's another subtle shift this update supports: cross-platform consistency. It's a reminder that Microsoft doesn't really see Xbox as just a box under your TV anymore. It's part of a broader gaming network that's available on whatever device you're using, whether that's your Series X, your Surface laptop, or your phone, through xCloud. Of course, no update is perfect. There are still a few minor quirks some users have mentioned, like slow background downloads or party chat hiccups that occasionally happen after an update rolls out. But, but generally speaking, the feedback around this October release has been positive. It's stable, it installs quickly, and it makes the console feel just a little more refined. If you haven't updated yet, I'd recommend doing it when you've got a few minutes to spare. The process doesn't take long, and even if you're not into the new personalization stuff, the stability fixes alone make it worthwhile.